bag of emotional support focaccia. Hey, where have you been for the last month? This is an old couch. Pleasant to look at. Oops, I would like more of them, is the moral of the story. How good does this look? Listen, do I want to talk about it? No. Do we have to talk about it? Unfortunately, yes. If you cannot tell by the timbre of my voice, I have made myself very ill. Broke my brain a couple weeks ago and then broke my body. So we're trying to crawl ourselves out of that hole after taking a little time away. I can give you what little life updates I have, but I cannot continue on anything without addressing what my studio has turned into. There is one task I need to do on my sewing machine before we tackle this part of the room, just because like I have nowhere to put that stuff and it's taking up my whole desk and I need to free up some space to like organize all of this madness. So this pile is what has to be dealt with first. Oh, I forgot I got an iced coffee. We're gonna try this flavor because I've never had it before. I'm trying to branch out. I got pistachio. Oh no, that tastes very bad. That will be dealt with in a moment. I have all of these, which is 32 out of 40 dumpling pouches I've been working on. This is how many I have done other than ironing on my logo to the inside. I was hoping to have all these done a couple days ago, but then I fell ill. My hope was to have all of these done and then some for a market that I didn't end up going to. And that actually makes 2 markets in a row, like 2 weeks in a row that I have not done the markets I had signed up to do. One of them, not my fault, and put me in a blind rage. The other one is I was too sick. Also, yeah, I didn't get this stuff done. I want to clear all this out because I don't have like a temporary place to store it in the meantime. And I just want to put it in with the rest of my inventory. So like, that's going to be today's project, is finishing these. Then other things I can like get off my desk are the Patreon mail I'm going to be sending out. I have the mail time perk tier with everybody's little notes that I hand wrote. The custom shit tier this quarter is I have prints from a different artist that are also little woodland critters. I haven't decided who's getting which animal yet though. This print is from Coyote Snout, who's one of my favorite artists, and I didn't realize that they were local. They're from New Hampshire. And then the other ones are from Bethany Clark, who's also local to New Hampshire, but those are going to be a surprise, so you don't get to see those ones. The other thing I did, because I have been obsessed with it for a while, is so I'm sending those plus the prints. Patreon mail and this stuff I would like to get done today. Today's Sunday. It's Mother's Day, actually. It's May 11th, which is also my grandmother's birthday. She hasn't been with us for a very long time, but I always make sure to make a point to say Happy Mother's Day and Happy Birthday when I think about her, because that was her one rule. Because sometimes her birthday fell on Mother's Day, and she wanted whatever the gift was, even if it was just a handwritten card or whatever, they had to be separated, which as someone who shares a birthday with one of their siblings, I very much appreciate that differentiation, because she also made me feel like, oh, my birthday was my birthday, not just a satellite birthday tacked on to my brother's birthday. Anyways, I'm gonna tackle this right now. I'm not gonna push it today, but as you saw, there's a lot to tackle this week. I'm gonna put a podcast on and get to work. right, lads, we've got all of our Patreon mail ready to go. I did create a little bit extra mess that I'll have to clean up, but this is a bunch of stuff off of my desk now. Oh, except I need to add stamps to these because I have like shipping labels on the bigger packages, but the envelopes I need to add stamps to. I know where there are some. You would think I'd just keep them in my office. I don't know why I don't keep them in my office. But there was one time I had a bunch of Patreon mail going out and I put it in the mailbox. I put the flag up, and then for like 3 days, it just continued to be there. And new mail would get delivered on top of it, and they wouldn't pick it up. And I was like, what is going on? And then finally, enough days went by that the mail person circled on a little note. It was like, these need stamps. I was like, I have the return address on there. I have the mailing address on there. What did I do wrong? I didn't put any postage on there. So just a little trick from me to you is put stamps on your mail if you want them to go to their destination. Oh, one other note for the coming days is I'm also cat sitting, so my day will be interrupted a bunch because of that, which is good. It's my only like out of the house work to do because I am feeling the way I am. So I'm like people isolated, which I think is good. I thought I had doctor's appointments this week, but that's all next week. Hopefully I'll be completely recovered by then and fit for society once more. Okay, also, in case you're wondering why I have all these jelly roll pieces here, it's because I will cut like 1.5 to 2-inch wide bits, and then when I'm making dumpling pouches, I have these raw edges here when I go to turn them out, and I use them as little bits of bias tape. It's a really good way to use lengths of this up because it's so limiting on what you can use it for because they're very uniquely sized pieces, and this is a really great utilization of them and any other small scraps. Doing that resourceful thing that I like so much where I have some parameters to work within. I didn't want to have to go and buy or make a bunch of actual bias tape to use for something like this, and I don't want to use the bias tape I already have purchased or pre-made. So just a little trick. I don't need any stretch or anything on this, so like this binding does not have to be cut on the bias. So it's technically not bias tape, it's just trim. All right, I'm gonna spend like an hour binding as many as I can. We'll see how far I get. Again, I don't want to overdo it. I did just find out that my D&D game for tonight is canceled, so that makes me less stressed for time for my afternoon. So like to do my PM cat check-in, it's like a 20-minute drive to where the cats are, so that makes it that little bit trickier to like plan around it. So I don't have to go as early because I don't need to come back as early. And I don't actually know what I'm going to do once I'm there. Maybe I can edit this as I go. I always threaten to do that, and then I never do that. But maybe this time, I'll keep my shit together. Highly doubtful. Unrelated side note, this is my emotional support water bottle. I've had the bottle part for over 20 years, and I hadn't been using it because the top used to be blue. I'm sure you've seen it in the back of many other videos. And it's plastic and it's very old, and I did a bad job keeping up with cleaning it too many times, and it was just like forever unclean. There was not a way to bring it back to life. So I set the bottle aside and was like, I can't get rid of it. I don't want to replace the whole bottle. Surely I'm not the only person that has needed a new cap. And wouldn't you know it, you can go into like a REI. Does EMS still exist? Doesn't matter. That type of store where you would buy an Nalgene. I was going to be really sad to lose some of my stickers, like this one from Ashley Morgan. It says, remember to stay hydrated, and it's the Loch Ness Monster in a teacup, and it's my favorite. By the way, the bags are live. I don't know if they're sold out or not, but I'm going to put a link to her shop. Her and I collaborated on some fabric, and then She had me make a bunch of bags for her shop with that design. It's a bunch of cryptids. And she also designed other fabric that I made bags for her shop with. Cool. The style bags in that fabric are exclusive to her shop. It's the only spot you can get it. She has wristlets and dumpling pouches of both patterns, at least as of right now. I don't know if it will still be available once you are seeing this. Let's support our artist friends in these trying times. Okay, I think I am now just procrastinating working on these, so let's go. Okay, hi. It's Monday. I keep thinking it's Tuesday. I may or may not have gone to IKEA this morning. That may have been most of my day because it took me directly through downtown Boston. Like I drove directly through the city instead of going around, which confused me. I avoided almost all the traffic, so like whatever, Google Maps. More on that in a moment. I did get all of my dumpling pouches stitched, so this means we can put away all of the jelly roll pieces, which, fun fact, I keep a bunch of jelly rolls in these IKEA storage bins that are on my IKEA bookshelf. This is an IKEA desk. This other desk is an IKEA desk. It makes me want to pull my hair out looking at the backside of my studio, and finally I decided, you know what would be nice is like basically a library type setup, like a fabric library. What a concept. So I might have gotten 3 more shelves, like bookshelves, that I definitely didn't have funds for, but it's a business expense. So that'll just mean I won't owe taxes this quarter, right? That's fine. I do still need to iron in my logo into these dumplings, so I'm still going to do that before I jump into anything else, just so these can get packed away and I don't have to think about them anymore. Let's tackle these quick little things, and I will also show you the storage containers I got from IKEA. So these ones are fun because there's a zipper at the bottom, and that's how you get it to hold tension. So there's 2 of each size. Oh, that wasn't the other size. This is the other size. So I got 2 sets of gray, so that's 12 bins total. Then I got this other size shoebox to try. That's kind of like a front loading situation. Okay, also has the zipper. And then, oh, it just Velcros. Oh, I like this a lot. I like this very much. Oh, I'm excited about this. Okay, beautiful. So I got 4 gray and 4 white. So yeah, let me like restack this so I can roll it up nicely, and then I will pack this away, and then we'll iron, and then I got to start moving stuff out of here. I might take a sledgehammer to some of this furniture because it's too big for me to pull out on my own. But it's also like 1:30. No, it's 2 o'clock and I have to do my PM cat visit. So like, I don't know how much time I actually have in here. And if I just wait till my partner's home, he can help me move stuff, which would be the smarter thing to do. I'm not going to make him help me build the furniture, but at least getting the old furniture out, I think, will be the move. Okay, the other thing I wish IKEA had, but is also something I can find at so many other stores, a couple of these thread racks, because I have so much thread. Though honestly, like having another 1 or 2 up here, at least 1 more. If I can find one of those extra long ones, I would like more of them, is the moral of the story. Also, you can probably hear Bert stomping around. And he would like to greet his people. Come here, sweet man. Oh, don't eat it. He's full of it. You would think a dog of his tenure would be a little more lethargic, let's say. But no, he's been on gabapentin, which is, I think, like an anti-inflammatory. And he's been a little bit more mobile, which is nice. Just his back was starting to get really hunched, and he wasn't like settling at night. He's been better. He still wakes me up a couple times, but he was getting up like every half hour, 45 minutes, which then meant I was getting up every half hour, 45 minutes. We just went for a walk, so he's still kind of keyed up. The wind was making his ears fly out straight to the side, which is always the funniest, cutest thing in the world. But yeah, I'm going to do the things I keep saying I'm going to do, and then try to move as much stuff in here as I can and go from there. It's going to be fine. I have a lot of work ahead of me. It's hitting me. I have so much shit in this office and I can't even see so much of it, which then means it doesn't get used, which means it just continues to sit around. And that is part of the problem, right? So we're going to make the things we already have more accessible, and that will help guide future projects and keep us from having to rebuy things if we have it and then just lose track of it and can't find it when we need it, and then we have to like reorder it on the fly, and then we realize, we have 7 bottles of hoisin sauce. And it's gonna help my brain so much. Also, having everything in view, I have found that is very important for me to function, as far as like realizing what I have, because I'm very out of sight, out of mind. Let's stop procrastinating. Okay, hi. We did it. We got everything behind me cleared out. I do still have some small shelves in this corner here, if they're even in frame. Kind of. It's my old grid cubes that are like a bad size. So I have my serger and then just like kind of random crafts like perler beads and my lino block cutting stuff and all my watercolor paint. I'm going to see if there's room on the shelves for some of the storage things I have in this corner. But I have no more room to move stuff in the meantime. So I have 3 IKEA shelves, like bookshelves. They're the same as this one, which is taller than me. It's like 74.5 inches, and then it has drawers down here. And I really like this. So I got 3 of them. So we're going to do just a whole wall of them back here. So my plan is to build the first one, get it in this corner behind me, move that stuff over here, even just temporarily. I can build the second one, put it in that corner, and then build the third one and slide it into the middle. It's probably going to be fine no matter the order, but I have it in my head. This is how it has to be done. So let's not delay anymore. Just get into it. I already vacuumed the floor, so we should be good. And I don't recall having too many issues building that last time, but it's also been a very long time since I built that other set of shelves. Again, it's probably been like 10 years. Also, I'm realizing that needs some readjustment because some of these hooks are coming a little loose. I think it's got to get kind of hammered back towards center. But now's a good time to address that kind of thing. So let's get to it. Also, I'm going to listen to my audiobook because I have one going that I'm 6 hours from finishing, and I think I have about 6 hours left on the loan. So let's see if I can get it done in time. It's called Bride by Allie Hazelwood, and I borrowed it from Libby because I saw Jordan Fisher, who's currently in Moulin Rouge the musical, talking about it on his TikTok, and I am easily influenced with books. Off we go. All right, that only took like an hour or hour and a half maybe. Well, that's for this part. I still gotta make the drawers. I think that's gonna go quick. Water break. Oh my God, water break. Oh, yeah. God damn. We did it. It's 1:31. And we got the main structures built. And the drawers are in. The reason I'm waiting to put the shelves on is because I want to like install them as I figure out the height of everything. So that has to wait because I desperately need a shower. I think we'll start organizing tomorrow, and then the true carnage can begin because I was handed my partner's Sawzall and some drills. So we're gonna attack the old furniture with some power drills and see what happens. I'm gonna have some electrolytes and a nice big meal and just chill for a little bit. Hey gang, it's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Hold on. Yeah, it's Wednesday. How long have we been at this? I think we're on day 4. But this is the fun day. This is the day I've been looking forward to the whole time. I am in so much pain. Part of me is like, why did I do this to myself? But also, at least I earned it this time. I wake up in this much pain sometimes. Not on my sits bones. Those hurt like I've ridden a bike for the first time in 6 years. But I'll get through it with my bag of emotional support focaccia. This isn't even all the bread I was offered. That'll be some of my fuel for the day. As for everything in here, I'm very happy with how everything is fitting. I am very pleased to report that this thing fits exactly. There's like a little room here that I can put poster boards or something. I feel like there's tall boxes and cardboard I can put in there. Oh yeah, I have a whole padded newsprint. I can fit stuff like that along here. Absolutely perfect. That needed a home, and here she lies. I think I'll be stacking this and this, which used to live on there to start with. And as long as this isn't too wide, it might be. But I think we'll be like right at that inch clearance. I guess we'll see in a minute. Having these things off of these shelves would be really great to have that extra space. Then this is my old one. And this is what I meant about the shelves needing some zhuzhing, is like this is kind of coming apart here. And I don't want it to collapse. And it looks like it's about to any second. All of this is getting reorganized anyway. I have a new home. I don't even know if I've shown you for my quilting cotton. So a lot of this is getting moved. The smaller cuts will be put on a different shelf. What did I just knock over? Oh, it's just a power cord. Okay. I don't think I'm going to film the whole time lapse just because I'm going to be flitting all over this room for the entirety of the rest of the day. And I just want to have the freedom to like move stuff and not have to keep changing frame like I was just doing. But I'll certainly give you a little tour once we're done. Again, I'm going to put the shelves on as I find the heights of everything because I have like fabric on bolts. But then I have books and patterns and all of that's going to need different clearance. So I'm going to put some music on because music is good like cleaning fodder. I literally have a playlist called Happy Jams, and I think that's the energy I need. You know, like a Saturday morning at home when you're a kid blasting, Moody Blues or whatever, and everybody's cleaning their designated areas. Not that we did that very successfully or very often growing up, but that's the mood I want for today. We're doing a big clean. That needs a big soundtrack. We're on the home stretch. This is the fun bit. This is what we've been working towards, It is game time. Let's get some coffee and some water and some fucking focaccia. Okay, hi, good morning. It's Friday. We made it. You may be wondering where I am because this is a new set where this backdrop here that I'm in front of was the final piece to my studio reset. We did the dang thing. It occurred to me partway through filming that like, hey, it'd be nice to have just like a good solid, well, I know it's not solid print, but like this is as close to a neutral as I'm getting, is a monochromatic galaxy situation. This is actually one of the backdrops for my tent. I rarely use one of them, let alone both of them. So I can let one live in here for the time being. Also, I'm barely doing pop-ups anymore. So this can hang here. It's only clipped on. There's little alligator clips holding it in place, so it's not a permanent structure. I just hammered a couple nails into the cabinets. But anyway, Are you ready for the like proper final reveal? How good does this look? I'm so happy. So this is my like knit fabric shelf. We'll do the lower half after, but we'll start on the main shelf. These are my like t-shirt lighter weight knits. I have a lot of them. I didn't realize quite how much like garment fabric I have, but this was part of wanting to do this project, is being more aware of what I already have, especially with stuff like Joann's closing and everything else going on. It's a good time to be as resourceful as possible. Down here are my heavier weight knits, or like anything that's gonna be warmer. Like perhaps it's lightweight, but it has kind of a fuzzy situation on the inside. So I'm calling these my like sweater weight knit fabrics. Up here are my like more basic knit scraps, so just smaller cuts. And in here are my like specialty fabrics. This shiny, spacey knit fabric. An old sweater. It is that like 90s fuzzy. Like it's not faux fur, but it's not faux fur. I don't know what you call this. Smaller scraps or clothing like that lives here. The next set of shelves is my heavier duty fabrics. So this is all my vinyl. I have a big thing of denim. This is actually like from an old banner they used to have hanging in a Gap store. One of my best friends, her mom worked there. The size of the store, basically. So I have a lot of like really nice denim, like proper denim. Then yeah, really big cuts of vinyl. This is actually from when I reupholstered a car, because that was something I decided to take on without any experience doing. It came out great. I'm very proud of that project. Up top are my smaller pieces of vinyl. We'll call these medium size cuts. Then these are my smaller pieces, or like rolls of stuff. I have this really beautiful glittery vinyl that was from Jeanette. So thank you for that. I have so many like outstanding projects in my head, but because I don't see them, I don't do them. And then here is like rubberized canvas and some clear vinyl. I have more over here. Even littler vinyl scraps. This is all like interfacing scraps, any kind of iron-on stuff. There's some patches. There's some Wonder Under. This is just random ribbon I was given. And then just random strap material, like suspenders I've repaired for someone. I have the extra material from that. Then over here, I have my mesh fabric, any of my ripstop nylon. I have wool in here, and then canvas in the bin just past that. Right here is my Steed Bonnet cosplay, because it's been in my like sewing case, my like roller bag that I use for my sewing machine, meaning I never use it for my sewing machine, even though I do transport it at least once a month for my alterations nights. But this will be more in my way. It's gonna get done this summer, so help me God. Under that is a bin with all my carpet samples that I was given by my lovely friend Grant, and they're just little square carpet samples that were getting thrown out from a carpet store or furniture store. I don't know the specifics, but it's really good for the little saddlebags that I make. It's the perfect size scrap to do like the bottom panel. And it's such a fun, unique texture to use because it's really durable, because it's carpet and it's really fun colorways and stuff. So I thought that was a really like clever use of that material. So it will be more at the forefront of my brain to like use that stuff more. I have my like layer cakes in these two bins that are probably a little out of sight now. All of my jelly rolls live here, all the like intact ones, but I do have a bunch of these small storage bins full of the already opened ones. Then I have some faux fur and a very distressed little man. What do you think of the new layout, my guy? Just very sad squeaks. He's just upset I'm not sitting on the couch with him. Most of today, other than checking on kitties, once I'm done in here, will be sitting on the couch editing with him. Though, you'll be proud of me.
I had mentioned at the beginning of the week, I did want to edit as I went, and I have in fact been keeping up with this. The only clip I haven't edited down is this one. Then I still need to do like the final edit, add captions, add any music, kind of fine tune everything. But that makes today a lot less daunting. So I can do some of that while sitting on the couch with Bert. And I'm very appreciative of having that as an option. Bert also needed a drink, which is a helpful reminder for all of us to have some water. Okay, I think the only bin I didn't show you is flannel scraps that live in here. So I have the bags here that were hanging, and I was constantly hitting my head on them because they were kind of in the middle of the room. So extra laptop bags live here. Then this is full of wigs and my head foam heads. In here is just extra bags. So if I've been sent a gift via Amazon in a big bag, those live here. Duffel bags or moving bags and anything like that. Those big ass home goods bags that end up in my vicinity for some reason. They're very useful. Up here we have fleece scraps. I actually forgot I have this kit. When I've made like a kigurumi, like a onesie that has a character to it, I prefer fleece to felt because sometimes felt can bleed. It just doesn't look as nice. It's fine, but fleece often has just a better texture and isn't as shiny. So I keep all the scraps, and that way I can hand sew stuff down or machine sew stuff down if I need like extra little details. And I have like really fun colors. So I'm keeping that. Then I have polyfill in here. There's way more polyfill in this bag that you might not be able to see over here. But then I have little foam scraps in this shoebox and then a bigger piece of foam up here. Oh, it's my ring light in the way. I was like, what am I even seeing? It's like I do this professionally. And then this big roll up here, the big white roll, is the cellulose foam that I used for upholstering that car. It's really interesting material to work with. It's very different from the sewable foam that I have dealt with, or like craft foam or anything. But it's really nice. So I'm going to keep using it in bag making and stuff. Oh, right. And then I redid this whole bookshelf too. Nothing up top. All of this is the same. So this is all my yarn stuff. I have a bunch of crochet hooks and stuff in here. There's big sheets of plastic canvas. And then all my needle felting supplies are here. All of my patterns are up here. My Tilly and the Buttons books are up here as well. It's nice having this at eye level. Then here are my other books. So there's some sewing craft books. There's more like textbook type books. I have some how to draw video game characters from a Scholastic book fair when I was a child. I have this one. I have a Pokemon one. I have a Sonic one. And then I have a Powerpuff Girls one. Though, to give middle school me some credit, I did in fact figure out how to draw the Powerpuff Girls in like 6th or 7th grade, to the point that other kids would commission me. Not with money, but by like acknowledging that I existed. I'm a Buttercup girly. Though I love all of them. I don't dislike the other two because I have a favorite. But I very much identified as Buttercup as a youth. Adult me has all three in there. It's okay to be a little Bubbles. And it's okay to be a little Blossom. We can appreciate each other's strengths without competing. So, anyway. I also have a ship that I got that I wanted to decorate as part of a live stream in my Steed Bonnet hyperfixation. I just need to rewatch Our Flag Means Death, I think. Also, there's some squirmels that my nibblings gave me. There's a blue and a purple one that I was going to turn into earrings. So they're manning the ship at the moment. Everything on my desk here, this is my, well, these are some old stamps, a $2 bill, and some photos I was sent. On the lower shelf, this storage bin of storage bins. It has all my purse hardware. I got some like fun bead type stuff that I kind of never know what to do with, but having this more visible, it was tucked way away in the corner before and just nothing was accessible. So all the stuff that is kind of random and doesn't have a home just wasn't getting used. For example, this tiny arrow and what is it? What's the thing called that you put an arrow in? Not holster. Quiver? I think it's called a quiver. You get it. You get it. Actually, this would be really fun stuff to have for my chatelaine that I'm making for my like vendor cosplay that isn't even happening anymore. More on that in a moment, because I have some big thoughts about that Ren Fair, and we haven't talked about it yet. And yeah, I needed a home for my cricket. It's in the way of the lower drawers here, but it's also a very easy thing to move. And I think having it more conveniently located next to my desk will make it seem like less of a daunting task to, in fact, use it for stuff. So then, I used to have a big tote box. I call them Tucker totes. I don't know if that's like a brand name that existed when I was small or just a thing someone in my family said once and I hooked onto for forever. But the plastic bins. And I also had a hamper. It was all full of stuff. Either clothes that I was given that didn't have a home, so the fabric was available to use for whatever I wanted. So that's, oh, I gotta like wipe this down. This is very grimy. So I have like some flannels, there's a quilted jacket, there's some really big hoodies and some sweatpants in here. It's just material to be used, or I can just upcycle those items on their own. Then up here is the shorts. I still haven't fine-tuned. We're gonna get there. There's some t-shirts and stuff, like garments I have that I like that still need to be turned into something else, but I don't have a specific thing in mind. I got some bodysuits because I've heard compression clothing is really helpful for people with blood pressure problems like I have. So I got these, but they're not super comfortable, so I need to edit them a bit. I've never owned a bodysuit, so I don't know how it's supposed to feel. And I don't mind the tightness for most of it, but like the arms are bad, even though it's sleeveless. A t-shirt I'm not going to wear, but I like the fit of. I'm going to duplicate this. Then I have some dresses I also want to duplicate and pajama pants. So like things I want to take a pattern off of essentially live in here. And then the shorts are here to just be in my way. I have the patterns I've been noodling with on my desk, on my like on deck pile. So it's going to happen. So help me. Oh, I stood up too fast. Oh no. We're fine. As I mentioned, I have blood pressure problems. Then I have my rolling cart. This has all my shipping stuff on it. I don't know that I've ever actually like shown y'all this. These are also like things to be gifted. I have my scale. I have little jewelry boxes. I have tissue paper and bigger poly mailers. Then I have a ton of envelopes that I was actually given from my friends at Sunny Fox Apothecary because they used the cards, but they all came in envelopes and they have no use for the envelopes. So we have like a whole upcycling community here. Then I have my bubble mailers that I'm almost out of. I'm moving away from the teal, so I will not be replacing these colors, but obviously I want to use up what I have before I move on to other stuff. Tucked over here is my toolbox. It was my thought to keep all of the heavier stuff towards the bottom as much as I could. So having something like that down here seemed like the best spot. I have my serger. I am not a Dora the Explorer girly. No shade to anybody that is. This is just scrap material when I'm changing the thread on my serger. I didn't have a home for it otherwise. In this drawer, I have all my lino block cutting material. I have my Dremel. Any of my stamping stuff lives in here. Further down is all my like camera equipment. So extra tripods, all my old CD cases, cameras I just don't use anymore. This is my like tech drawer. So these two bins are my quilting cotton weight scraps. So any wovens that are like smaller bits. I have the rest of my quilting cotton in a special spot I will show you in a moment that I'm very proud of the idea that I had for that. Down here is like big cuts of muslin, way more muslin than I thought I had. Then here is my velvet. Then up top, this is an old couch. The same best friend's mom that gave me the denim, her and her husband cut up an old couch that was getting thrown away. And they were like, you know who could use this material because it's really nice? Is Joe. It's very nice to be thought of in such ways because that's really nice material. Then down here, I have all of my fixins for Ramona Flowers bags and then some bits of my Howl's Moving Castle cardigans. That actually also lives in here. The top drawer here is the rest of that. So obviously, as I use stuff in the drawers and in the bins, I'm hoping to like continue moving stuff up into the more visible areas, but obviously I have to use up stuff to make room for that. So as I make more Howl's Moving Castle cardigans, this will condense down and I'll have more space. Then all of my fleece lives here. It's bulky material And this will eventually move its way up to the sweater weight shelf. If I'm thinking, I would like to make a cardigan, that's when I will open the fleece bin. But it's not something I mix in with a lot of other stuff. Anyway, this here is my like specialty fabric shelf. So I have a whole bolt of fringe. I have the rest of my depression robe fabric, which again, I would like to rewatch Our Flag Means Death and get re-inspired and make more of that stuff, even though nobody cares about it anymore, but it's fine. I have a whole bunch of lace. I realize this is actually the same color as Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show, their lab coat. And I think making a lace outfit inspired by that character would be a lot of fun. Okay, then hidden away in this corner is that plastic tower that used to live where my rolling cart lives now. I have my bias tape bag that my fairy god Cheryl made for me. This set of drawers fit exactly. There was exactly enough width to get this in here. I was so happy. So this has my like stickers and washi tape, and I send a lot of origami paper notes with my Patreon mail for some reason. So that all lives in here. I have business cards and like little bags. I have like a craft caboodle up top here behind this basket. So my elastic and stuff like that lives there. I have paint up top, like acrylic paint. Then this basket has my watercolor paint, which I like doing, but I don't think to use very often. So having that next to my acrylic paint, I think would be useful. Then this is the side of the room I don't show very often, but this is my like costume rack. And I have a bunch of really big patterns that I don't want to pack away because I want to be able to see them. And then all my zippers live here. Actually, I don't know if I've shown this. So smaller zippers are just in this bag because I have too many of them. But I used like a cookie cooling rack and nailed it to this shelf, and I have all my longer zippers here. But then I have all my zipper tape and zipper heads for the zipper tape in this like organizer thing, right? Then on the back side of the door, we have kind of random notions. Like there's big thick spools of thread. I have some lace. There's elastic. There's grosgrain ribbon. There's ribbing like for cuffs. I have boob cups, old bras, all sorts of fun things. Oh, right. This is the one thing that was in the hamper I ended up getting rid of that didn't have a home. It's my old winter coat, and it just needs the zipper replaced. So if you're wondering where my mending pile went, I fixed most of the stuff. Like the shorts I have on right now, sorry for the gratuitous crotch shot, but like I repaired under here like I did the other denim shorts that I fixed. I had 2 pairs of black shorts that needed fixing that were on top of the pile, and I just did them the other day. And I'm very proud of myself for knocking that project out. But I now have all of my quilting cotton, other than the solids and stuff, in that other bin on the IKEA shelves. So I have like solid colors, all the fun stuff, like things that were in the bin on my old IKEA bookshelf. This is the new home that it has. I have interfacing and lighter weight stuff up here. So like fusible fleece, Decoville Light, SF101. That's all on the top because it's lighter weight. But all my like really, really fun fabrics, my Tula Pink stuff, some capybaras. I have a whole bunch of cat fabric, glow in the dark, everything I've been collecting. Then further down is good like lining fabrics I found. I have a lot of like galaxy fabric I've been collecting. And then everything else that I haven't purchased specifically is like batiks and things that I was given in fat quarter cuts or bigger from my fairy god Cheryl. It's because of that kind of like de-stash donation I'm able to do such fun like color blocking and everything in my bags. So like all the sling bags I've made, there's at least one piece of Cheryl fabric in that, which makes me really happy because it's like whoever that bag ends up with is getting a piece of like multiple crafting homes. And I think that's really cool, the whole like ecosystem of it all. Anytime someone gives me a scrap of whatever, I remember who it came from, and it gets to go on to have another life. And then there's like multiple pieces from multiple people going into those things and then ending up in the final product. I don't know. It's very cheesy, but it makes me happy to think about. Back to our backdrop. I'm so happy with how this went. I had high expectations, but honestly, it went better than I thought. I figured I'd still have just like random piles of stuff around, but I don't really. It's just my like hey, you're halfway through making this pattern and you abandoned it, so that pile needs to be in my way, so I'll just get it fucking done. And then I have like the wristlets that I prepped but haven't assembled. That should also stay out and in my way. And like I said, as I use stuff, I can also move things up from the bins and like just have more wiggle room with things. And it feels nice. I feel like I have breathing room. Everything's organized. It's just like very pleasant to look at. Oops. But yeah, I'm finally feeling like I can breathe better in here. I'm going to like squat down a little bit. I'm looking forward to all the stuff we'll get to make in here. Oh, I didn't get to share the destruction that happened with the older furniture that was in here. My partner actually had like a short day yesterday, so he came home and took the Sawzall to the old cabinetry so that he could take that and like the hamper and some other storage bins and stuff like that to the transfer station. So like some of that was going to go to the swap shop, but some was going to go into, they separate wood, plastic, metal at the transfer station. So he was going to take care of that for me. But I did load things out to the truck. It was go again. So I contributed with the disposal, but I didn't end up doing any of the sawing, which is fine. Probably for the best. I think had I not been doing so much physical stuff earlier in the week, I would have been able to handle it. But like, I cannot express to you how much my shoulders and my back and my neck hurt. It's bad. Very thankful for his help. And yeah, the only thing not in here that will be living in here is my pack out, my like storage rolling cart thing for my inventory and events. But that's out in the mudroom because it's going to go back into my car in like a week. And I don't want to haul it all in here just to bring it back. But after that one other pop-up I have, it's on, I think like June 5th, whatever the first Saturday in June is, I'll be at Rollins Park in Concord, New Hampshire for their Art in the Park event. Last year, it was like a really fun Pride event. I don't know that they're specifically doing it Pride themed this year, but I'll let you know as it comes up. I'll obviously have to prep for it, so I will try to share that. If you're wondering, hey, where have you been for the last month? What happened to the Ren Fair? Wasn't there another outdoor market you were going to do? Basically, long story short, neither of them happened. Well, they both happened, but I didn't end up doing either of them. The Mayflower Market, the markets on the brook events that I've done before, it was one of my best markets last year. I was really, really looking forward to it, but I was so sick. I mean, I'm feeling better now, but you saw me at the beginning of the week. It was that, but so much worse. So I ended up bailing Friday afternoon. I told them like, I can't. It was also cold and rainy, and I would have been so much worse off had I done it. Obviously, like the foot traffic wasn't going to be as high. So I couldn't justify going out well sick. Obviously, I would have like masked up and everything, and it was outdoors. I didn't want to spread anything, and I definitely would have made myself much more sick and not been able to do any of this week. It's a bummer because it was a $120 booth fee, and like obviously if I'm canceling of my own accord the night before a market, I'm not expecting a refund. So like that's part of the contract. And I felt really bad bailing because like they run very professional markets. I really like how they do stuff over there. And I was sad to miss out. I had friends that were going to be there, and I didn't get to hang out with them. As for the Ren Fair thing, I don't want to get myself upset. So if you want the tea of it all, like specifics as to what happened, I did put a free bonus video up. There's no paywall or anything on my Patreon if you would like to hear about it, because I want to share my experience, not to shit talk people for no reason, but just to let you know, like, hey, this is when things break bad, and this is when there's really bad coordination and no communication, and like things are just run really poorly. I get into the weeds about what happened and other people's experience and everything in that video. So, but the TLDR version is there were thunderstorms that were going to come through during most of the event. So the day before, I emailed them asking like, hey, is there a safety plan in place? Their response to my email with that question was, I'm sorry, we don't have you on our vendor list. Do you have the receipt from when you paid your fee? Something like that, which I had paid months before, had receipt from paying it and also emailing them confirmation of the payment and that I was in fact going to vend with them back in February. It was a whole thing. Again, if you want like the nitty gritty details of it, it is up on my Patreon. Obviously, while we're here, I cannot do any of this without everybody over on my Patreon. So thank you so much for being here. I shut down the past month. I have been having a bad time between getting sick. The Vagabond Fair debacle really took the wind out of my sails. I had multiple videos prepped. I have like partly filmed things that I had market prep going. I had like tent setup stuff. I was working on a costume for this. I had already put out content in preparation for this event. Having that all go down the way it did, I was absolutely soul crushed. So that's why I didn't put a video out 2 weeks ago. And I was just absolutely crushed for quite a while after that. And then getting really sick, I'm sure that was a contributing factor, and not getting to do the other market. I just wasn't in a great space. So never a better time than now for a reset like this. So thank you for coming with me and putting this kind of time in. It was very therapeutic. It's helpful seeing the abundance of stuff that I have. Like, I'm feeling so creatively charged. Like, I have so many ideas. All the potential is right there, and I'm feeling really motivated to do stuff, which I didn't have for quite a while there. Thank you, as always, for being along for the ride. This has been a difficult spring so far. I almost feel like I've experienced my own false spring, where I have regular depression. I also have seasonal depression. Winters in New England can be really tough. And when the weather first started getting nice, I was like, it's breaking. Is this what feeling joy is like? I forgot. It's been so long. But then I feel like I kind of came crashing back down into the pit for a while. And now I'm finally crawling back out of that. So it's been a bit. I appreciate everybody's patience with me. I'm very much looking forward to making more things with y'all, sharing the projects and the ideas and the process. Again, I have one event booked, so there won't be as much like market prep things. Chipping away at setting up my shop. There's so many steps before that gets going, so I don't have a date for when that's going to be up. But if there's ever stuff you see in an Instagram post or in the background of somewhere, I probably have it sitting in my inventory. So if you're like, God, I can't wait for her to put that up, just reach out to me and I probably have it. Unless it's cat themed, then you probably have to go to the cat cafe that I have my stuff at in Lowell, Massachusetts. I did do a drop off with them at the beginning of this month to kind of restock things. I have some brand new bags there. If you have any recommendations for shops like that, not cat specific, but just little stores that you think I'd be a good fit at, I would love to hear about them. I think doing something like that feels a lot more sustainable than doing the pop-up markets. I heard at least 6 different people this past weekend. The wind was so rampant that 6 different artists had their tents destroyed. So on top of like low sales and potential lost inventory, having to repair or rebuy big expenses like that is another reason I'm glad I didn't end up doing those markets, because like I couldn't have taken that hit emotionally or financially. At least something like all of these shelves. Again, I think I spent like $450 at IKEA. This is an investment in my quality of life, to be honest, and that's worth investing in. That's not something I used to think. I used to be very like, well, if I can make do with what I have, it's not justifiable to spend money on something that's going to just ease my life, but it is okay to do that. Plus, I get to share this video with y'all of the overhaul. I think it's very aesthetically pleasing. I'm very pumped about how it all went. And yeah, all right, that's going to do it for me. I will see you back here with another video in 2 Fridays. Thank you so much for hanging out. Oh, my back. Oh, son of a bitch.